If you are fascinated by how the rich live, chances are that you are wondering how their offspring spend their days. Currently, the richest kid universally is Prince George of Cambridge. This is not surprising, seeing as he is the son of Prince William and Kate Middleton. Just how does this 8-year-old boy spend his day? Does he live like the average child? In this video, we are going to take a look at how this young prince spends his time on a normal day. So if that is your cup of tea, stick around to find out more. Waking up. You would be forgiven for thinking that the prince has several servants at his disposal whose job is to wake him up for school. But you would be wrong. Each morning, Prince George lets his parents know he is awake by playing an anthem by comedians David Baddiel and Frank Skinner. This is a British thing to do, if we may say so. How do we know that the young lad does this? Well, his father, Prince William, disclosed this to the same comedians during an interview. According to Prince William, his son has been playing the song every morning since the World Cup in 2018 and has not stopped doing it since. Breakfast. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, who are Prince George's parents, usually handle their responsibilities separately, but some of them are done as a family. For instance, they like to share meals as a family. One of the things they like to do in particular is to make breakfast and have it together as a family. Considering that George is their eldest child, he is the ideal candidate to help them with homemade breakfast. Word has it that the prince enjoys making pancakes, and as a treat, his parents turn it into a bonding session where they make pancakes together whenever they can. Apparently, Kate Middleton enjoys cooking and is a healthy eating champion. Therefore, it is easy for her to make homemade breakfast with her son, and then she serves and eats with the entire family. Getting ready for school. Prince George and his sister, Princess Charlotte, attend school, and we bet you thought these kids were homeschooled or something of the sort just because of their royalty. As it turns out, the prince attends classes just like any other regular kid. After breakfast, his parents take the time to ensure that he and his sister are ready for school. According to several reports, Prince William walks his son to school every morning when he is around. Other times, his mother Kate takes on that responsibility. Prince George attends the Thomas Battersea School located in South of London. Now, we know you're thinking that school is one of the most prestigious and most expensive there is, but surprisingly, the school fee is £6,000 per term. School time. George is generally a happy kid and he enjoys being at school. There he is nicknamed PG, according to a parent. As expected, he has many friends and is very popular. However, there is not much fuss about his status and title. The prince also takes regular subjects just like the other kids in the school. By that, we mean English, math, music, drama, art, ballet, and the like. However, during this time when the world is facing a pandemic, his parents decided to have him homeschooled. William and Kate even carried on with the homeschooling during the Easter period of 2020 just to maintain some sort of normalcy. Snacks and lunch. Of course, the prince will not be starving at school, so there are snacks and lunch breaks. The young boy starts with a mid-morning snack that usually includes some milk and cheese along with rice cakes or fruit. When it is time for a lunch, he usually will have a starter comprising of bread and soup along with a seasonal salad. As for the mains, he has a wide variety to pick from. For instance, he can choose a meat dish like beef stroganoff and apricot couscous, or a fish dish like salmon or fried squid rings. Sometimes he goes vegan. Once he's done with lunch and he is encouraged to finish everything on his plate, the prince can have pudding, which would be anything from biscuits to crumble. In case the prince does not want any sweets, which rarely happens, he can opt out to have a tub of yogurt or a fresh plate of fruit. After school. After lunch, a typical school day for the prince is pretty much over, so he will be playing with some of his many friends at the school. Some of these friends include Maud Windsor, a royal cousin and classmate. She is the daughter of Sophie Winkleman and Lord Freddie Windsor. However, for most of his playtime, he spends it with his sister Charlotte and little brother Prince Louis under the supervision of royal nanny Maria Barallo. This usually happens in a massive Amer Hall backyard. According to author Louise Herron, the Cambridge Kids schedule runs like clockwork and focuses on conventional activities rather than the modern ones that today's parents line up for their kids. Therefore, instead of video games and TV time, Prince George and his siblings will spend most of their time outdoors gardening, playing with pets, or riding bikes. This is not to say that the prince is alienated completely from TV. His parents allow him to watch for 1 hour each day, and when he does, he will be turned to Fireman Sam. Dancing lessons. We all remember the late Princess Diana. for not only her gracefulness, but her beauty as well. What you probably did not know is that she loved to dance as well. It seems that Prince George inherited that interest from his grandmother. According to his father, Prince George enjoys dancing, and the fact that his school, Thomas Battersea, offers ballet classes is a plus since the boy gets to improve his natural talent. Volunteer work. How many rich kids do you know who have no regard for the less fortunate in society? Probably many of them. Well, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge endeavor to teach England's future king and siblings the importance of giving back and being empathetic. As such, the prince, along with his parents and siblings, deliver homemade pasta to the homeless and elderly near their home in Norfolk. Sometimes the prince even helps put together the packages for charity along with his brother and sister. There is even a picture of them drenched in water from the rain as they delivered the packages when it is pouring. As it appears, this family is not extravagant as most people would assume. Spider hunts. According to Kate Middleton during an interview at Forest School, Prince George loves spending his time in nature. In that regard, the Duchess of Cambridge often takes her kids to their garden to hunt for spiders, and they love it. In another visit to the garden, Kate mentioned how her kids would like to explore the outdoors. She thinks that Prince George enjoys learning outside more than inside a classroom. Evening routine. Prince George and his siblings wind up their day at 5 p.m. or thereabouts. They go into the house and have a bath to get prepared for bed. They usually are prepared for their baths by their parents or nanny. After that, they will have an evening meal as they bond with their parents and talk about school and the day's events in general. Now, you may want to note that Kate has a strict rule that requires Prince George and his siblings to be in bed by 7 p.m. This may appear extreme, but given their age, the kids need hours of sleep. George is 8 years old and he is the firstborn. Kids that age are very active, and if they do not get enough sleep, it may tamper with their school life and mood in general. Well-rested kids are usually more focused, alert, have fewer tantrums, and are generally happy. Bedtime. Each evening, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge put their kids to bed at exactly 7 p.m., just as we had mentioned, but not before reading them a bedtime story. They like books by Julia Donaldson in particular. When the parents are not home to read the prince a bedtime story and tuck him into bed, Maria Teresa Borello, their nanny, usually takes on that responsibility. Ultimately, the prince gets ample sleep and wakes up the following day ready to repeat the same routine. Well, that is all we have for you today. Did you know that Prince George is the richest kid in the world? What do you think is different about his life compared to that of other children his age? Let us know in the comments. Please also give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you like the content. We have more in store for you. Until next time, it is goodbye from us.